Hey Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to our Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumor video here on a Tuesday. The pads have officially come on, and we're going to look back at the first really week of Steelers training camp and give you guys my top 5 early camp winners. And let me just preface this by saying, just because there are players on this list does not mean that they're, guaranteed to be great throughout all of training camp, or if they're not on this list, they're guaranteed to be doing bad during training camp. Training camp is very much a roller coaster. Things go up, things go down, players look good one day, they have a bad day, and yet there are always reporters there who are tweeting every little bit of practice. So if Pickett throws a bad interception, it's like, oh, Pickett looking bad today. Or if Rudolph throws a good pass, it's like, oh, Rudolph leader in the clubhouse. So you take this all with a grain of salt. However, my research shows that these are the top 5 players up there at Pittsburgh Steelers training camp who have really started to stand out, who've looked very, very good, whether they're in a competition or not. These are the 5 biggest ones, starting with the surprise of the day, Mason Rudolph. Everything I have heard, and there have been multiple reporters who have said this, Mason Rudolph's been the best quarterback on the football field so far between himself, Mitch Trubisky, and the rookie Kenny Pickett. Now, you might read into that and say, well, Thomas, why was he demoted to 3rd team yesterday and Kenny Pickett elevated to 2nd team? Well, it's very clear what's going on. Just because Rudolph is the most comfortable quarterback in this offense, having been there the past couple of years, does not mean they're not going to preface him to win a starting job. It's very much, the tables are stacked against him. They want Pickett or Mitch Trubisky to win this job, and so far Trubisky's been with the 1s, and now Pickett's been with the 2s. And that can change. Obviously, you want to elevate Pickett a little bit to see what he is able to do, but the idea that Mason Rudolph, despite the fact that he has been the best quarterback, is going to win this job to me is ridiculous. It's just not going to happen. And it stinks for Rudolph, because obviously he's worked very, very hard. He's been in Pittsburgh his entire career since being drafted out of Oklahoma State. And it's worked very, very hard to get to this job. But once you draft a quarterback in the first round, i.e. Kenny Pickett, they're going to do everything they can to get this guy ready to play as fast as possible. Because anytime you draft a player, but more specifically a quarterback, the front office, it's kind of a referendum on them, right? Did you do a good job scouting? Were you correct in drafting Pickett? Is he going to be a boom or is he going to be a bust? And so elevating him to the 2nd team, despite the fact that Trubisky's been better than both himself and Trubisky, is not a surprise to me, but it is worth noting, because the question for me really is, and I'm not there, and obviously you guys know that, is how much better does Rudolph look? If it's a little bit better, then he's obviously has no shot. But if Rudolph is consistently better than both Trubisky and Kenny Pickett over the next couple of weeks and into the first of 3 preseason games, it could get a little bit interesting in terms of this quarterback battle. But right now, just because Rudolph is playing very, very well, really does not guarantee him any sort of shot at a starting job at the quarterback spot. We'll start with an ad break. Pin comment down below. Who's been a camp winner so far in your eyes? You guys been following training camp. Is there a player that does not show up on my list today, which obviously we have 4 more, so you gotta wait and see. But is there a player that does not show up on my list that you think has been a training camp winner or a standout so far? Let me know who that is down below right now. All right, next player on our list is one that will surprise you, I think, and that is Jaylen Warren, the running back out of Oklahoma State. Now, this is not necessarily a referendum on Warren saying he's been unbelievable. No, he hasn't. Najee Harris is still the best running back on this roster, despite a little tweak of the ankle or the foot, whatever it was, in practice yesterday, stepping on an alignment's foot or whatever it was. So he missed a little bit of practice. But Warren has been the best of the rest, right? And really, it's kind of fair to say that no one wants to win this backup running back job because no one's been that great. Malone is another name that we thought would have a really chance at going ahead and winning this spot. But so far, it has been Jaylen Warren, who I think will be the number 2 running back if the season were to start today. Now, that obviously changes, right? Pads are coming on. People are going to start getting hit. That will throw a little bit of a wrench into the overall mix. Obviously, preseason games. Really, I think the backup running back spot is going to be won by who performs the best in preseason games. But right now, let's be very, very clear. I think the leader in the clubhouse for RB2 is most likely Jaylen Warren, the undrafted free agent out of Oklahoma State. And I know that he's undrafted, and so it's like, oh, well, is he actually that good? If there's one position where an undrafted free agent actually turns out to be really, really good, it's running back, because there are great running backs all over the country, and Oklahoma State has a history of having really, really good ones. I think that, Chuba Hubbard moving into Jaylen Warren was not that much of a drop-off, despite the fact that Hubbard was great. But Warren was a great running back at Oklahoma State as well, and he has a very, very big opportunity to hopefully be the number 2 running back in his mind behind Najee Harris. And so far, again, early in training camp has very much looked the part. Okay, if you guys are excited to see what the Steelers offense looks like, because a lot of our players are from the Steelers offense, give this video a thumbs up right now, as we're trying to go ahead and get to 300 likes on today's video, trying to see how many of you guys are excited about the offense. A lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowns with this offense, but overall, I think that I'm still very excited to see what they're able to do, and I think you guys are too. Give this video a thumbs up down below if you guys are very excited. Okay, next player on our list, and probably the biggest standout overall, has got to be George Pickens. And if you're on Twitter, you know this to be true. Every single Steeler beat writer up there at Pittsburgh Steelers training camp raves about George Pickens. Now, he's not perfect. There was a great article, I forget where I saw it, talking about how route running is still an issue. He had a 10-yard in yesterday that he cut short a little bit and got yelled at by one of the receiving coaches. But overall, Pickens has very much looked the part and been a very good player. Now, before we get into where he stands on the depth chart and what this means for the Steelers wide receiver depth chart, quick shout out to our friends at BetUS, where you guys can bet on Offensive Rookie of the Year. And that could be Kenny Pickett, it could be George Pickens, could be somebody else. But we'll help you guys hopefully win some more money by doing the following to get a deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet is the promo code that you need. The link that you need. The promo code is Steelers125. Get you a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. So you put $100 down, it turns into $225 for you guys to bet on. Here you go. Offensive Rookie of the Year odds. Right now, Pickett still your leader, plus 550. The Falcons, Drake London. Treylon Burks, I believe he's a Titan. I almost forget what happened with the draft a while ago. Garrett Wilson with the Jets, and there he is, Pickens. You bet $100 on George Pickens winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, you're going to win $5,000. So there's some betting opportunities there. Maybe you make some money, maybe you don't. Who knows? That's how the sports gambling world works. Again, chatsports.com/bet. That promo code is Steelers125. Okay, back to Pickens here really quickly, though. He's been very much taken under the wing from Chase Claypool. I think that's a great kind of fun thing to see there. Claypool been in and out with a little bit of a minor injury overall, so Pickens getting a lot more of those 1 reps, but he just looks the part, and I think this was the expectation and why he went early enough in round 2 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because yes, he was injured all the time at UGA, but you knew once he got healthy, he was going to be a great player. The size, the speed, the ball skills, everything is there for him to be very, very successful. He's going to be, dare we say, a starter? I think him, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool are your top 3 receivers on this group. I think that Calvin Austin has looked good at times, but by no means is he at the same level as George Pickens. And so it looks like, at least for now, that pick of George Pickens is looking to be very, very smart, whereas a lot of people thought it could have been a little bit of a reach for a guy who, again, did not contribute much at UGA. Okay, who's the best wide receiver on the Steelers team? Let me know who that is down below in the comments section. I think it's still Claypool, but I think Pickens could shock some people and be really good. Maybe a sneaky wide receiver 3 or a flex guy on your fantasy football team, at least as a rookie. Okay, next player on our list, we're going to end with 2 linebackers, actually, and it's not the one you want to hear about. That's Devin Bush. He's been up and down. Myles Jack, though, is not. Jack has been absolutely fantastic. He's been taking the majority of the snaps at inside linebacker and looks the part that we expected him to be when he was signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers coming over from Jacksonville. I think the Jack signing will go down as underrated. It was so underrated, and I think it wasn't underrated because Pittsburgh Steelers fans don't appreciate what Myles Jack or who he is and what he's been able to do. I think it was underappreciated because it came right before the draft, and the draft was so exciting with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens that we kind of focused it on the rookies and got away from some of the undrafted free agent signings like a Myles Jack. And so I think we all understand what we're getting in him, but I think it's just kind of been suppressed a little bit in terms of the overall excitement. So I think that he's going to turn out to be a great linebacker, and so far he's looked really good. Now, that leads us into our final player on this list, and I was really hoping Devin Bush would start to stand out. We've all been waiting for the former first-round draft pick to turn out to be a really good inside linebacker. He struggled mightily, and he still is. Let's just be real here. Robert Spillane is number 5 on our list here because he's taken over a lot of the snaps from Devin Bush, and this is unfortunate because, it's not unfortunate for Robert Spillane, congrats to him. You're talking about a 4-year vet who was an undrafted free agent of the Tennessee Titans, and so you work your way from being a nobody to maybe starting with the Pittsburgh Steelers is still a very, very praiseworthy achievement, but you would hope that this would be Devin Bush, but Devin Bush just hasn't been able to do it, and so the winner today, at least from early on in training camp, is Robert Spillane. I think that he is very much going to be in line for a starting job. I think that doesn't mean that Bush is going to be without a starting job or he's not going to play it all this year. I think that they will, and they'll have some different packages with him in there, and they'll spell Myles Jack and Spillane, but right now, if you're wondering how this linebacker battle is going, make sure you understand that Robert Spillane is very much in the mix to possibly win the job and be one of the starters. Okay, we'll end on this. Let's just mention that the first preseason game is coming up very, very soon. I mean, the Hall of Fame game is this week, which is crazy. The enshrinement ceremony is Saturday up there in Canton, but the Steelers will be back on the football field very, very soon. Excuse me, if you guys are excited for the first preseason game, let me know how excited you are. Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like you're not excited at all, 10 being like you are super excited. I'm pumped. I know I don't look like it today. I'm very much under the weather, but I'm pumped right now for preseason to start. I think the Steelers have some extra intrigue as they have a lot of really young guys battling out for some roster spots. Okay, all time today on our Pittsburgh Steelers news and review video. Be sure to subscribe. If I look under the weather, it's because I am. I think that I'm going to be taking a test later on today to confirm what I do have. You guys can guess on that. But I want to jump on here, right? Unless I'm like bedridden, I want to be able to give you guys the latest news and rumors. So excuse me for being a little bit less animated as I normally am, but a little under the weather. Either way, I still think that we're going to a solid video today here, giving you guys a breakdown of the early camp winners. Make sure you guys subscribe for more videos coming up on the channel. For our Pittsburgh Steelers news and review video, Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.